I wasn't fired from a TV series, but I decided there was a scene that I didn't want to do. It was very, it was just vulgar. It was a vulgar scene, and it was disrespectful not only to women, but especially to black women. I'm not gonna be your negro. I always imagine my family seeing what I do, like my niece watching TV on a Sunday. She's 8 years old, and she'd be like, "Oh, that's Auntie Joy." And how would she feel if I'm playing some dumb caricature? What's that? Caricature image of myself. She would be like, "What's wrong with her?" So yeah, I think that was a shift. And then I am just at peace when, for example, this is going to be a little shady maybe, but last time I wasn't fired from a TV series, but I decided there was a scene that I didn't want to do. It was very, it was just vulgar. It was a vulgar scene, and it was disrespectful not only to women, but especially to black women, because I was the only black actress in the show, and they asked me to do it. So I said I didn't want to do it, and then they never called me again. So I was booked for like a whole season. I did 3 episodes, and then they never called me again. And at this point in my career, I'm like, I'm fine with that, because this is stuff we make forever. My niece, who's going to be 35 in, I don't know, 30 years, will be on the internet and sees this and still needs to have the feeling that I did that because it was bigger than myself. So I'm having sort of peace with the mission, in a sense. Do you understand that? Yeah. That certain things are just not for me, and that's fine. I'm not gonna be your Negro like James Bond. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And I wanted to ask you what you feel is the link, like for example, Dutch, UK, America.
Yeah.
What do you think is our connection as a community, as a global community, or maybe I don't know, maybe there isn't one, but what do you feel?
From the downside, I would wish I wouldn't immediately approach it from the downside, but I didn't think suppression and the struggle to overcome that is, I think, something that is a deep connection between, even though the struggle is very different, but most of the time the struggle is connected to color and being black, but it would definitely mean something else for you and for you and for me. But to overcome that and to find freedom in this world with the baggage of that, it's just like a nasty bird gift. Do you understand what it's like? Born a black baby, deal with that. So I think that's sort of a connection that you always, it's something you can never, even people who became big bosses and are rich as hell, they always stay black, and it means something to be black in this world. And most of the time it means something bad, even though Oprah would tell you it's not. But then it's already the step of overcoming the ugliness of being black. I mean, it's not that I am feeling bad about being black. I don't want to be anything else but black. But I think that aspect of knowing what your position in this world is something that connects. Yeah. And then on the bright side, I think we're the most beautiful, wonderful people in this earth. Yeah, like that.
I like it.
Yeah.
Okay, let me check my questions. Oh, there's a question that I had about representation. I sometimes ask a question, but I kind of know the answer in my own way. But do you feel represented in the Dutch media? Because you're an actor, so you have the opportunity to be in front of camera and see the process, but also you are like an everyday person when you walk the streets and you see the campaigns and you see the billboards and adverts, you know. So do you feel represented?
I have the feeling it's better than 10 years ago. There's more space now for light-skinned girls, while there in the beginning was space for nobody. But that is a good thing. So it is, hopefully it's not a hype, but we are, some things seem to be changed. I don't feel no represented, but it's a weird thing because I almost already accepted that I'm not represented, so I'm not even shocked by it. I know that when I see an ad about, I don't know, people dying or insurance, that I see white people and that I then have to translate that to my own life and my own situation and my own history and background. But no, 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 we're not well represented. Not only in media, but also not in jobs and in, no, no.
And I also wanted to ask you about, I was showing Jazz the project on being black and Dutch and living in the Netherlands during like 1600s and 1700s before slavery.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think it's important for us to see that image on screen? And why? If so, why or why not?
I think it's for us anyhow good to see our history. I'm not only talking slavery, I'm talking before slavery, I'm talking the Holland before slavery here. A lot got lost, I'll be honest. Even I don't even know 3 generations. If I go generations back, then I know the name of my grandmother or then the mother of my grandmother. And then it just stops. And people say, yeah, that's probably when she got off the boat. But history just stops for you. You have no idea. So it's almost also as if your own history and your own interest stops because you just don't know what happened then or where you're from or you don't know, yeah, some part of Africa probably, but what you don't know. So I think it's great for us to see all that because we as black people also need to get a knowledge of who we are and where we're from and all the diversity in that. First, one plantation doesn't mean the other plantation. African American doesn't mean Caribbean. I mean, it's connected in a sense, but it's also so different. And it's worth telling all these different stories because it gives depth and it gives us a sense of that we are. We just didn't pop out of slavery. That's not where we're from. We were there before as well. And we will be there after. So I think it's very important to see that. Even for our children, you know. Not
I
just
think that they need it most. Like if you enter the world and you have those wholesome, strong images of your roots and your heritage, you can handle any obstacle with that much more strength.
yeah. History, ancient history. I mean, kings and queens. We were not definitely not all kings and queens, but we were not slaves. Only that. That's not our history total.
Please like and subscribe. Shout at Hues Films.